The people of the land had slain Athaliah with the sword, and they set the king upon the throne of the kingdom. So all the people of the land rejoiced, and the city was quiet. Of the books called Chronicles, the second, chapter 24. Joash was 7 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 40 years in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Abiah of Beersheba. And Joash did that which was right in the eyes of Yahweh all the days of Jehoiada the priest. And Jehoiada took for him 2 women, and he begat sons and daughters. And it was after this, it was with the heart of Joash to renew the house of Yahweh. And he gathered together the priests and the Leviim, and said to them, Go out to the cities of Yehudah, and gather of all Israel money, to repair the house of your God from year to year, and see that ye hasten the matter. Howbeit the Leviim hastened it not. And the king called for Jehoiada the chief, and said to him, Why hast thou not required of the Leviim to bring in out of Yehudah and out of Jerusalem the tax of Moshe the servant of Yahweh, and of the assembly of Israel, for the tent of the testimony? For the sons of Athaliah, that wicked woman, had broken up the house of the God, and also all the dedicated things of the house of Yahweh did they bestow upon the Baalim. So the king commanded, and they made a chest, and set it without at the gate of the house of Yahweh. And they made a proclamation through Yehudah and Jerusalem, to bring in for Yahweh the tax that Moshe the servant of the God laid upon Israel in the wilderness. And all the princes and all the people rejoiced, and brought in, and cast into the chest, until they had made an end. And it was so that, at what time the chest was brought to the king's officers by the hand of the Leviim, and when they saw that there was much money, the king's scribe and the chief priest's officer came and emptied the chest, and took it, and carried it to its place again. Thus they did day by day, and gathered money in abundance. And the king and Jehoiada gave it to such as did the work of the service of the house of Yahweh, and they hired masons and carpenters to restore the house of Yahweh, and also such as wrought iron and copper to repair the house of Yahweh. So the workmen wrought, and the work of repairing went forward in their hands, and they set up the house of the God in its state, and strengthened it. And when they had made an end, they brought the rest of the money before the king and Jehoiada, whereof were made vessels for the house of Yahweh, even vessels wherewith to serve and to offer, and spoons and vessels of gold and silver, and they offered ascending offerings in the house of Yahweh continually all the days of Jehoiada. But Jehoiada became old, and was full of days, and he died. 130 years old was he when he died. And they buried him in the house of David among the kings, because he had done good in Israel, and toward the God and his house. Now after the death of Jehoiada came the princes of Yehudah, and made obeisance to the king. Then the king hearkened to them, and they forsook the house of Yahweh, the God of their fathers, and served the Asherim and the idols, and wrath came upon Yehudah and Jerusalem for this their culpability. Yet he sent prophets to them to bring them again to Yahweh, and they testified against them, but they would not give ear. And the Spirit of God clothed itself with Zechariah, the son of Jehoiada the priest, and he stood above the people, and said to them, Thus saith the God, Why transgress ye the commands of Yahweh, so that ye cannot prosper? Because ye have forsaken Yahweh, he hath also forsaken you. And they conspired against him, and stoned him with stones at the command of the king in the court of the house of Yahweh. Thus Joash the king remembered not the kindness which Jehoiada his father had done to him, but slew his son. And when he died, he said, Yahweh look upon it and require it. And it was toward the revolution of the year that the army of Aram came up against him, and they came to Yehudah and Jerusalem, and destroyed all the princes of the people from among the people, and sent all the spoil of them to the king of Damascus. For the army of Aram came with a small company of men, and Yahweh delivered a very great host into their hand, because they had forsaken Yahweh, the God of their fathers. So they executed judgment upon Joash. And when they were departed from him, for they left him very sick, his own servants conspired against him for the blood of the sons of Jehoiada the priest, and slew him on his bed, and he died. And they buried him in the city of David, but they buried him not in the sepulchres of the kings. And these are they that conspired against him: Zabad, the son of Shamaath, the Ammonite, and Jehozabad, the son of Shemerith, the Moabite. Now concerning his sons, and the greatness of the burdens laid upon him, and the rebuilding of the house of the God, behold, they are written in the commentary of the book of the Kings. And Amathiyahu his son reigned in his stead. Amathiyahu was 25 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 29 years in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Jehoadin of Jerusalem. And he did that which was right in the eyes of Yahweh, but not with a perfect heart.